All right. I think we're live. I'm having software issues today. I don't know. They just sneak up on me. So, welcome everybody to the stream. My name is Angela, coming to you from St. Paul, Minnesota, software engineer, front-end developer. And yeah, we're going to continue working on, where are we here? Well, I suppose we could show this. It's called the Ocean. It's a mock-up that I've had in my collection for um, a really long time, many years. And so we've been working on this. I think today is our sixth session, where we're just going to build this out. This mock-up consists of several, let's see if we can find here, several different views. So we have kind of this masonry blog layout. We have a blog page. We have another blog page. I would say this is, well, it's got comments in it. So I think that we can kind of mix and match. You get the point. This would be more of a traditional page, I think. This would be a contact page. Here's what the flyout navigation would look like. And we're going to work on this today. And then here's what the search drawer would look like. So we're going to go ahead and continue to build these out. We've already built out the most, I would say most of the home page. Oh, and Emilio is here. He says, I just finished the first live for this project yesterday. I think it is going to be really fun. Oh, yay, Emilio. I'm so glad to hear that. Yeah, I mean, I'm loving building it, I have to tell you. I'm enjoying it. My takeaway from building this, because I've spent the last 7 years working for an organization where like I would say as a front end developer, and this has been the case almost every place I've worked, 50% of my job is maintaining things that are already built. And I would say the other 50% of my job is building out new things, but not always new UIs, right? I do a lot of building out things that take in an API or adding functionality via an API. So more of that full stacky backend type stuff. I just don't get to spend as much time building UIs as I wish I did, because I enjoy that. That is the thing I enjoy the most. So my takeaway from the last 6 months of streaming is I can tell that I have gotten better at building things. So my top to bottom approach, which has always been my approach, my indecision when it comes to naming things and choosing class names, or how I'm grouping my classes, or how I strategically approach what I use my classes for. Is this for the layout? Is this for this set of styles? Is this for this particular group of things? This is the first thing that I've built in the last 6 months where I felt like I wasn't bumping up against that constant indecision. Is this the right way to do this? So I'm glad that you're enjoying it so far. I think this is one of my better projects that I've tackled on this channel. So and here's where we're at. I would say we got most of the responsive styles in terms of the layout nailed down the last time we worked on this. So I was off last weekend. So it would be 2 weeks ago. We definitely still have a lot of refinements. So the navigation and the search drawer, of course, today we're going to work on those. So basically anything related to the header, because that's pretty messy right now. And I would say, even though this 3-card hero layout, even though that is, popping into a responsive set of styles, this could also use some refinement. We just have a ton of padding here that could be tightened up. Yeah, so there's definitely still more work to be done. I'm hoping this weekend to get this header, search drawer, and footer nailed down. So So top to down approach helped me finish and get a great grade on a final. I was jumping around, kind of freaking out, then just relaxed and broke it down. Such a great way of doing things. Good, Emilio. Thank you for telling me that. I'm so glad that you were able to use that approach and that it helped you. I learned that from Chris Coyer. So CSS Tricks is Chris Coyer. He is the person behind, let me see here. Does he have like an about? About DigitalOcean, contact. Yeah, he doesn't really have an about page. So Chris Coyer lives in Wisconsin. He is the co-creator, co-founder of CodePen, and CSS Tricks is his baby. He used to have a class on lynda.com, which is now LinkedIn Learning, and he had a class about building WordPress themes because I've started my career as a WordPress developer, and he had this start to finish, Photoshop to finish approach for building a WordPress theme, and he was the one who introduced me to that top down, top to bottom approach. So I give him all the credit. And it works really, really well because I do the same thing. I get really freaked out and I'm like doing this and then I'm doing this and then I'm doing this. And then I'm just like, okay, chill, just relax. Start at the top, work your way down. It's the best approach. So, all right, well, let's tackle this navigation. I do have something else that I want to pull up because I want to do something with the navigation that I have done before. So I'm not going to reinvent this wheel. Simple responsive navigation. I think this is it. Yeah, but you know what? I at one point had this on Heroku and I don't anymore. Oh, Angela, you're not prepared. Can I deploy this really quick? I think I can. Hang on, because I want to show it to you. Hang on. I'm not signed into Heroku. Okay, I'm going to deploy this repository really quick so we can see this in the browser. So we'll do new, and what is this here? This is simple responsive navigation. I'm just going to call it simple navigation. Hopefully this is, wait a second, which one is it? Of course, I have more than one repository with the same name. Okay, this one has dashes. Well, what do you expect after a decade, more than a decade of using GitHub, right? Do the build log. Okay, so here's this navigation up here. Hopefully you can see. It's the wrong one. Oh, Angela. Okay. You know what? Let's deploy a few more because let me see here. Let's call this one navigation. Responsive navigation. Well, we have a couple to choose from, I guess. Navigation. Might be this one. Oh, yay, Monique is here. Good afternoon, Monique. Happy to have you. Emilio and Monique, I love you guys. Oh, Pish failed. Okay, well, here I thought I was being prepared. So here's what we're going to do. I'm pretty sure it's this CSS navigation. So let's just go look at the code. I'll know once I see it. Don't I have... That's what I just deployed. That was not the right one. There's a calendar. Simple, responsive nav. Simple CSS navigation. Nope. Okay. Well, I know I've done it before. I really didn't want to do it. Oh. Okay, well, that's okay. We're just going to do it. So I have navigation where basically we're going to take the, we're going to take this right here, our hamburger menu, and on click, we're going to transition so it transitions to an X. So I've done it. I know I've done it before. I know I have it saved somewhere in my GitHub, and I did not even think to make sure I would get it pulled up ahead of time. So that's okay though. We're going to go ahead and get started on that. And there's a lot to do here, right? We have to hide all of this off canvas. There's also, let's go look at this part of the mock-up. There's also, it doesn't just have the navigation, it has some social media icons, and it has this like an about or a container. So presumably this would be a picture of the author or whomever. So I'm thinking that so there's a couple strategies that you can take with something like this. So I'm thinking about the way the DOM is arranged right now. We have really two parts of the header, right? We have the header and we have the navigation. And then in the header part, we have social media, logo, and then search and menu icon. And then we have navigation. But when the flyout or mobile navigation comes into view, these two things are flipped. They also contain things that aren't in the header, and they don't have the logo. So it's really two completely separate things. So one strategy could be to have a completely separate container that is display none on desktop. And that's appropriate because display none tells a screen reader for accessibility, hey, don't read this out. And then once you go to mobile, it's still display none. You would display none everything, well, the navigation, and then you would have a button that on click opens and now is display block the navigation. And that's how that should work. A screen reader on mobile should come through and see that button. The button will automatically get focus if the user's tabbing through. And then the user will decide to take action on the button, and then the container will be display block, and then it's accessible by the screen reader. And it's accessible on screen. So that's the correct approach. What I'm questioning though is normally when I do off-canvas navigation, it's very easy to just take literally the nav element in this nav container and make it display none and hide it off screen for mobile, but not if it has all this other stuff in it. What I don't like, and I don't like when designers do this, but this is an old design. It's like 8 years old. I don't like having flyout navigation that has a bunch of other stuff in it, because now some of these things are being repeated on the page, right? And there's no guidance on how this should actually look on mobile. So I think my point is, in a way, it's kind of cool. We have a lot of autonomy. We can decide for ourselves how we want this to look on mobile. And I do want to stay true to this because I like it, but like the practicality of it, I don't like. So I think we should make a completely separate container just for mobile. And then on desktop, and then on mobile, you would only see the logo and you would only see the search and the menu icons. But that means you wouldn't see the social icons until you opened the navigation. Do we like that? I mean, is that a good idea? And the social icons also live in the footer. I'm pretty sure they also live in the footer. Okay, we're going to do it. I'm going to create a separate container just for navigation. And we're going to take that route. I very rarely, if ever, do that. And I don't think I've ever done it on this channel or in a live stream. I've always been able to convert what's on desktop over to mobile. So this is, but I've always said both approaches are fine. So that's what we're going to go ahead and do. So we are literally going to build the mobile version of the navigation. I feel uncomfortable right now. I feel uncomfortable doing that. That's strange. I think it's like strange and funny that's how I feel right now. I don't know. I don't know why. Okay. It's okay. Okay, so here is our header. Here's our social nav. Here's our logo. Here's our icons. Here's our main nav. So that means that on mobile, it's going to be the logo, 2 buttons, and then the off-canvas navigation. So search, open, and then, do I want to put it before or after? I mean, does it matter? I'm going to hide it. If this is display none, are they going to get focus if you're tabbing? I don't know. Let's test that. Why am I suddenly curious about that? So let's go to the header. Here's our main nav. Let's test the social media icons since they come first. So if I display none this, I know it's there. I know it's in the DOM, but I'm hiding it with CSS. And the first thing to get focus are these buttons over here. Okay, so that's good. That's good. So that means I can put that mobile navigation anywhere I want, and it doesn't matter. And so now, if I come back here and I start tabbing, those get focus, which is what I would expect. Okay, good. So I'm just going to put it after. So we're going to do nav, but I don't want the whole thing to be inside of a nav. I'll just go ahead and do a div with a class of mobile off canvas. And then I'm going to do a nav with a class of mobile nav. And this will also be a UL. And we can just copy these. And presumably, if you were, working in a CMS or in a JavaScript framework, you would just be looping through the same sets of data in order to create this. Let's see here. Okay, 1 second. So here's our mobile nav, and it's not going to have the same styles as main nav, which is fine. I mean, I guess the benefit here is that we're not doing the reverse engineering. And then after the nav, I'm just going to put it in an aside, which I think is an appropriate element. And I'm going to say mobile about. And we have a figure with an image. I would say that this is probably, this little hello is what, an H2, a paragraph, and then we've got some social nav that we'll duplicate. So we'll say mobile about figure class image with a source of, steal one of my picsum. I can take the whole thing here. And then we'll do an H2 with the class secondary secondary heading. It's been a couple of weeks, so I don't remember any of my class names. Hello. And then just to make sure that we have, well, that's read more for a link. What did we use for paragraphs? Anything in particular? Just checking to see. Blog description. And then we're going to social nav. We're going to copy this. Yep, that's about what I'd expect. So now let's go ahead and get that styled. So mobile off canvas. What's the parent? There's main logo, top right, main nav, top header. So header is the parent. Really, it would be, though, we would want probably the body to be position relative and then mobile off canvas to be fixed and completely taken out of the flow. So we'll give the body position relative. And so Emilio is asking, what are your thoughts on Bootstrap? Well, I have lots of thoughts on Bootstrap. I understand why organizations use Bootstrap. It's a great tool for continuity and keeping your styles consistent. I personally have never built a site with Bootstrap. I've worked on some sites with Bootstrap, and then the Bootstrap, I guess, competitor is Foundation. You know, I understand why organizations use frameworks like that, CSS frameworks. I personally prefer to build my own. I love writing CSS. I understand how to build complex layouts and I enjoy doing it. So I personally don't use Bootstrap. I think there was a time in the mid 2010s when Bootstrap was so popular that you could just tell by looking at any website if they were using Bootstrap. So I feel like people are moving a little bit away from using Bootstrap. That's my impression. I could be wrong. I don't know what the data is. I think if you like using it, if you like the look and feel, if you can achieve what it is you're trying to achieve using Bootstrap, go ahead and use it. This channel is all about the core foundational, HTML and CSS, and I personally don't use it for my projects. So I want every front-end developer to learn how to do it on their own and then decide for themselves what works best. So Emilio, if you are comfortable with Bootstrap, you should do it. You should use whatever you are comfortable with. I like to roll my own. So I hope that that's a good answer. Mobile off canvas. So then this is going to be position fixed, and I want top 0, right 0, and I'm going to say width 300 pixels for now, and height 100 VH, which means to make sure that it's always 100% of the current height of the viewport. But we'll have to make some adjustments on that and make sure also that well, I'll show you what's going to happen here. And then let's give this a background color of white. And I think it needs some Z index. Z index. I don't know. There we go. You can see now. And so you can, oh, I guess it's, there we go. And we are going to want, let's deal with the main navigation first. So the main navigation by default is display block. And then the mobile off canvas by default is display none. But we'll add classes. So we'll go here and we'll say we're going to give this usually I just use active. We're just going to use the class active, even though it's going to have the opposite meaning for the main nav. So if the main nav has the active class, or maybe we could just say hidden. Maybe we should make this semantic. So hidden is going to be display none. So Emilio is saying, oh God, no, I am not. I had to do a major project for school using it and it was not fun. I wanted to edit everything. Same. Anytime I've had to use Bootstrap to work on a site, I've wanted to edit everything. I remember the first time I learned what Bootstrap really was, I was like, really, I just add classes to things, but how do I edit the CSS? And they were like, no, you don't edit the CSS. You just add classes to things. And I was like, well, how do you know how to use CSS? So that was my introduction to frameworks, and I don't care for it. So, okay. So if the main nav is hidden, it will be display none. And then, well, I'm glad, Emilio, I'm glad that you are, that you feel that compulsion to edit the CSS. I'm glad that you're having that experience, or that's what your thought process is, because that's what I want you to do. I want you to want to edit the CSS. So, and so if this is display active, this is display block. So that's how we will hide things. So let's test this. Put this down at the bottom. Okay. So here's our mobile off canvas, and here's our main nav. So if this is hidden, that's gone. And then this is active, that appears. So that's what we want. All right. So now I'm just going to add hidden here, so it really is hidden. And then I'm going to add active here, so it really is active. And then we'll write our JavaScript. And let's make this a little wider. Yeah, let's make, that's like 300. Let's make it like 500 pixels wide. mobile off canvas. Let's make this, because we basically have 3 containers. Let's make this, instead of display block, we're going to make this display flex. And then we're going to do flex flow column wrap, even though I don't think that matters. So everything that you would do in a row, we're going to do in a column now, and I don't do that very often, so I want to start getting more comfy with that. And then we're going to do justify content center and align items center. And I think that's going to pull there. Oh, yes. I love it when my predictions are correct. That's what I wanted. I wanted everything to get centered horizontally. So, okay, horizon, vertical. I wanted everything centered vertically. And when the flex flow or the flex direction is column instead of row, you are changing the axis. So justify content, instead of justifying it horizontally, it justifies it vertically. It's beautiful. Flexbox is beautiful. So, and we still get the equivalent of a display block type style that we want, right? So let's add some padding. I'm going to go right here. Whoops. Give it a healthy amount of padding, like maybe 2 rems. And then I think we could do a little bit more. Well, yeah, I have to remember that we're on mobile. So let's go back to 2. And then let's get in here and just fix this navigation. So we've got, where are we here? Mobile nav. Mobile nav, the UL, we want to take out the margin, 0. Padding, 0. List style type, none, to get rid of those bullets. And then the LIs. I'm gonna make the LIs. Well, I don't think I need to change the display of the LIs. They're already lined up correctly. I think everything's supposed to be center justified though, so maybe just align text, or wait, text align. Whoops. Text align center, yes. And then that anchor link is text decoration, none. Color is going to be black, but we'll give it a hover. There we go. And I don't think that's the correct font. Yeah, so we want our serif font. We just have to change our font. It's all coming back to me. I mean, I run into this a lot at work. Even though I've been working on the same set of files for 7 years, if I don't work on something for a couple of months, or I've been in a more than once I've gone to work on something and I'm like, really? I haven't worked on this in a year and I have to relearn the whole thing. It's kind of a normal thing. So we'll do hover, active, focus, and this is going to be color. I think we just called it links. And I think actually, because I do want that, what do we do here? Yeah, text decoration color. So instead of text decoration none, we want text decoration color to be transparent. And then we'll get this back in here as our color. And then let's see if we need a transition. I'm not even sure if we do. We do. Oh, and we also need our font family, which is, I think it's Cabin. I think this is sans serif, not serif. And then let's get our transition in here. Transition all 300 milliseconds and ease in out. One of these was wrong. I remember one of these was wrong, but I don't remember which of these is which. There we go. I think they need a little, yep, they need a little more space, and I think they should be a little bigger. So let's just add we can either add padding, which makes the tap target, I think we should add a little more padding, which makes it a bigger tap target, which right now is 54 by 20. So let's add more padding, but let's also add some margin. So if you tap on one, you don't accidentally tap on the other one. So first we'll do margin. I'm going to do 0.5 rems on the top and bottom, none on the left and right, but I'm going to add extra padding to increase that tap target. 0.5 would be what? 8 pixels on the top and bottom. Let's do 1 rem all the way around to increase that tap target. And you can see here as the mouse is entering. Oh, but we don't have enough. Why didn't the margin? Oh, probably because this needs to be display block for the margin to work, which is fine. There, did anything happen? Why isn't there more margin there? Oh, I guess there is. The margin is just overlapping. See that? The margin is overlapping. That's annoying. Okay. So we have 1 rem of margin, 1 rem of padding. And so so it says 27.6 pixels height, but including 16 plus 16 for the margin. Oh, but that's not included in the tap target. Hang on. There's the tap target now. Wait, why isn't hang on. Something feels off to me. So the margin and the padding are totally overlapping each other, which, hang on, is it because I don't have, I think I need to make this display block also, that's why. There we go. That's why that was happening. Okay. Now we can go back to 0.5 rems. No, this is not working. Okay, there we go. So 50, I do like that as a tab target though. Let's just increase it a little bit. There we go. I mean, I know this is fussy. Okay, so 48.8 height for a tap target. And then we have, there we have. Then we have the margin in addition to that. So there's room in between. So if your big juicy fingers, your big juicy fingertips like mine are tapping on something, you're not accidentally tapping on something else. There, so that works. It's still pretty spread out though, isn't it? That's okay. That is okay. So Emilio is saying, I need to learn how to use that more to help edit my pages. Inspect and me don't get along. I remember the first person who ever really mentored me as a developer, my friend Ed from Romania. He introduced me to the inspector and Google Fonts all on the same day, and I thought my head was going to explode. I mean, it blew my mind. Yeah, the inspector totally changed my life. So, Emilio, learn to love the inspector. It is, I think, the most important problem-solving tool that I have as a front-end developer, because it gives you access to exactly what is going on in the browser. So keep at it. Keep at it, my friend. Keep working at getting good at the inspector. It'll totally be worth it. So, okay, so we're very clearly, I'm on a 27-inch monitor. Let's see what happens if I zoom out here. I'm on a 27-inch monitor, so this navigation, this flyout navigation, is obviously not all going to fit on a phone. So we have to make sure that we are able to scroll within this container. So for now, I'll finish styling this because we can see everything all on this view. We just have to make sure that the users will be able to scroll within this container. So now let's deal with this image, which is, where it's here, is a landscape, not a portrait. That's fine. So I'm good with the nav. I'm satisfied with the nav. I'm not going to change the size of the font. It's aligned the way I want it to. We have a big enough tap target. We have room in between each item. I am perfectly fine with this as nav. So next we're going to do the mobile about. And the image. This is going to be position, nope, position relative. We're going to say width 100%, height auto, aspect ratio 16 to 9. 16 to 9. Let's see here. There, whoops. 16 to 9. And then the image is going to be position absolute. Oops. Inset 0, which is shorthand for top, bottom, left, right. Width 100%, height 100%, and then object fit is going to be cover. There we go. And then I think this little H2 is also supposed to be our serif font. So this is the secondary heading. Let's grab this. And text align center. There we go. That looks great. So I think our image doesn't need to be quite so wide. That's fine. So maybe let's do, I don't know, 75%. And then we can do margin. Oops. So when I'm centering something that's block level with a defined width, I just do margin 0 auto. I had somebody recently tell me that that was a hack, that people should not be using. It was somehow indicative of not knowing how to center things correctly. I think that's what the person was implying when they told me that. To me, this is a perfectly acceptable way to center things. So let me know if you think that I'm wrong, if you think that that's a hack and it shouldn't be like that. Let's also give this some margin on the top. I'm going to give this 3 rows of margin on the top to push it down a little. There we go. And then I think also the text is technically aligned, center aligned. Let's make this width 40 ch, 40 characters. Ooh, should we use the clamp method? No, you know what? I'm just going to do width 75%, just like the image. Margin 0 auto. And then text align center. There we go. That looks really nice. I like that. And then I don't really think we need to do anything with our social navigation. So probably I have this right now at 500. I think ideally it should be about 320. Usually when I'm styling for mobile, I make sure that everything looks good down to 320 pixels. So let's do that. That seems safe to me. And then can get rid of some of this padding. I think our image could be a little, it doesn't have to be quite so small. We'll do 90%. 90%. And then let's give this a little bit of box shadow. So we'll say box shadow. I'm just going to do 0, 0, 0, 0 RGBA. Black. And I usually do about 10%. And then let's adjust this. So it's X, Y, blur spread. So I think we would actually want this to be negative, so it goes in the other, there we go, in the other direction. That's kind of perfect, actually. You can see there, that's the spread. That's the blur. Yeah, that looks nice. We'll do that. So we're going to do -1 pixel for the x-axis, 0 for the y, because you don't see anything vertically, 2 pixels for the blur, 1 pixel for the spread. -1, 0, 2, 1. Two pixels, 1 pixel. So now you can see that it's distinctly, make this a little bigger. You can see now that it is very distinctly overlaying that container. And so you can also see here that this is wrapping. So see, that's why, this is why we want to do no wrap, to force it to be like that. So here we have to make sure, see, I love these happy little accidents, love it. So we need to make sure now that this container, we can scroll within this container. So we know that the height is 100 VH. I think we can just do overflow Y scroll. Is that going to let us scroll? Look at that. You guys, it is so rare that things just work. For me. That's one way I was shown in class at my college. I'm so sorry, Emilio. I'm not sure what you're referring to. There's a little bit of a delay on the stream. YouTube has like a 20-second delay on the stream. Tell me what you're referring to so I know, so I can, so I know. I'm so sorry. So here, this is perfect though, right? Because we want to make sure, and see, this is the other thing that we need to make sure that, do I not have, viewport? See, this is the meta tag for viewport. Why do you look so bad? Oh, is it because of the zoom? There we go. Why? Oh, hang on. We have to make sure that top 0, left, right, fixed. It is very clearly not all the way out. That's why. Okay. So something else is, oh, I bet it's the footer. Is it our footer? Yeah. Is it? Something is causing this to. So instead of right negative 320 pixels and then right 0, is it just my something's causing my full window to be off canvas? Hang on. This right here. This right here. We have to fix this. Okay. Yeah, let's fix that because, whoops, let's fix this because this is screwing up my navigation now. Okay. Oh, yes, because I put a character width. That's why. Does that work? Kind of. This, is that it? Right here. All right, it's better. All right, let's see if we can, I think this will help. That helps. So there's 430. There's SE. There's 375. Yeah. Okay. Let's what if we just made it with the 100% for now? And I think for now I'm gonna say overflow until I can find and fix those other things. I'm just gonna do overflow hidden on the body. Oh, even though it's still, oh, it's not helping me at all, is it? Oh, it's because I refresh my page. overflow X hidden. There, no. No? Why? Okay, we have to do our responsive styles. I'm forced. Because it's messing with my off-canvas navigation. So, so I'm going to take that out. Take that out. And, well, no, I'm going to hide this. I'm going to continue to hide this. So let's start with our header. So on mobile, I am going to hide the social top left. I'm going to hide that. Yeah, we'll just do that with the media query. Where did I put it? Top left. So we'll do top left at media, max width, whoops, 960, and we're just going to say display none. So at 960 pixels, that's going to be my breakpoint. So this is actually a very clean header. I like this a lot. But let's tighten up this padding. I think we have plenty of room for 3 rems on the left and right, but let's just do 1 rem. Well, I mean, maybe 1.5. Yeah, let's do, so we're going to cut the top and bottom in half. Yeah, that looks good. So let's do at media. Max width, 960 pixels. Padding, 1.5 rems on the top and bottom, and then we'll keep 1.3 on the left and right. Beautiful. That's the main nav, which is hidden. There's our off canvas. Now here's their main body. So these should all be okay. You can see here the width is 100% at 960. Let's make sure that our images are all behaving. We have, so I used a width of 25 characters. And a height of 150 pixels. So I think for desktop that's okay. I think once we hit, that's a little tight right there. and that's 1258. So I think we need to make this a max width of 25 characters, not just a width of 25 characters. Where is that? That's the hero. Right here. So if we just make this a max width of 25 characters, that should start to wrap a little more once we get to mobile. Let's test it out. There we go. That is so much cleaner. There we go. Look at that. So I think we're good here on desktop. Then it starts to wrap right around 1300 pixels. Then we have a media query to change the size of the font at 1250. We go from a font size of 1.5 rems to 1.1 rem. And then we should also change the height. So let's take this out and move it to a different spot. Let's move it right here instead. And we'll say H2. And then we'll change the height. I don't know, let's change it to 100 pixels. Oh yeah, I can tell that already looks better. So even if it wraps to the third line, it's still okay, in my opinion, for mobile. I think it still looks fine. Although, I mean, we could just go down to 1 rem. That looks better, doesn't it? I mean, how small? I mean, I think this is fine. I don't think you need to support 200 pixels wide for mobile. I don't think we need to change this layout at 960 though. I think it's okay to go down to just 1 rem. Yeah, so this is changing at 960. I think we could do 768, which is an iPad portrait. So the grid changes at 768, but the height of the container and the font size changes at 1250. Yeah, I like that. I think that's okay there. I think that's okay there. Yeah, I like that a lot better. A lot better. Yeah, that works. And then when is our navigation changing? Our navigation's also changing at 960. I think the nav can change at 960, and the hero, those 3 images can change at 768. I think that's okay. Normally I try to keep everything changing all at the same time, but you know, the layout is what determines that. It's not what you like, it's what the layout likes. And that is okay. That is okay. All right. So header, hero, looking good. So the next thing I'm noticing here is our layout changes. So the sidebar and the main content area layout change at 960. Totally fine. But once we get to about here, 1200 pixels, because that's how wide that container is, this main wrap container has a max width of 75 rems, which is 1200 pixels. Once we get to 1200 pixels, we don't have any padding on the left and right. So let's make sure. I don't like putting padding on the left and right, but because that changes it from 1200 pixels, that changes it. So if we just added even like 10 pixels, it changes it. Back here to 12. Okay, there's exactly 1200 right there. I mean, technically it's technically if you have padding on the main container where you define the width, it's not 1200, now it's 1180. I don't know. Am I overthinking this? Yes. And we have padding there already. What is it about that bothers me? Where is my toolkit? And the flex container, oh, this is an unsaved file. So here's our flex container. You know what? I think I have to stop overthinking this. I'm just going to do 0.5 rems on the left and right, and it's going to be fine. Yep. As long as it has something. And this is fine with me if it goes all the way to the edge. That is just fine. So, how are we doing here? We're doing good. Let's see how this looks if we bump this into mobile now. Yeah, there's still something pushing it off canvas. So I kind of think it's this. Okay, well, let's do that next. Oh, this just looks so clean. Gosh, I like that a lot. I like that a lot. Okay. So let's fix this right here. So this is the blog links. And the blog links is, so here's what I think we should do. It's flex container, which is a flex flow of row wrap. Let's make this a flex flow of column. Column, I guess, I don't know if the wrap or no wrap matters, but it needs to be a column. So we're just going to change the flex flow. Right here. Add media. Max width 960 pixels. Flex flow column wrap. I don't know if that matters. There we go. So this obviously needs some styling. Okay, what's the next thing? This right here. So this is the full width image only secondary heading. Blog item image only secondary heading. Where are you? I can't find you. Here we go. So what if we change? Oh, and this is absolute positioning. And the width is determined by the character count. So probably we want to do max width 40 characters. But the width is 100%. Is that going to work with absolute positioning? Yes, it does. Look at that. But we need to make sure that it's aligned from the top, not the bottom, because as that container gets narrower, and also this should probably be a width of maybe 90%. There we go. So it has a little on the side. But as the container gets narrower, it pushes everything up because it's positioned from the bottom. If it was positioned from the top, it would push everything down, which I think is going to be a better look. So if it was bottom 0, it would take the bottom of the container and position it from the bottom. But if it was top, so there's top 0, there's top 100%, which pushes the top of the container down 100%. So if we did top like 90%, there's that. But then we have to account for what's happening beneath, because it takes it out of the flow. I love how in theory everything works, but in practicality sometimes nothing works. So yeah, I'm probably just gonna have to leave it. So we'll adjust the padding. And we can just reduce the padding. There we go. They're beautiful. And we can reduce the font size too. See? Just stop overthinking, Angela. There we go. So we'll change the width to 90%, the max width to 40 characters, and the font size to 1.25 rems for mobile. So we'll do at media, max width, 960 pixels, and we're going to change the, I think this, we could just do this all the time though. I think that could just be the way we do it. And then we'll change the padding to 1 rem and the font size to 1.25 rems. Maybe 2 is okay. Yeah, I think we'll stick with 2. Maybe 1.5. Yeah, 1.5 looks good. Play with it. You just got to play with it. The layout will tell you what it needs to be. The layout will tell you what it needs to be. Okay, let's see if we are any closer. Oh, we're getting, look at this gap is closing in. So we're getting there. So we definitely need to still fix this. This isn't the reason, is it? Could be. Okay, we might have to do a little more work there. I think it's this. I think this footer is also part of the problem. Okay, let's finish doing this. So we switched to a column. So I think we want to do align items, flex start. Yep. And then let's start with that. Blog links. Here's our comment count. Yeah, I think all of these things can just be 100%. So we'll do the comment count, the tagged items, and this blog write. And we're just going to say flex items 100%. And maybe give everything a little bit of margin. Do 0.5 rems of margin. on the top and bottom to space them out a little bit. Yeah. Well, maybe we should make these instead of flex start center. Oh, and I think it still has to be, probably has to be text align center. There we go. Yeah, I think that's fine. I think that's fine. Okay, we're getting close. We're getting close to finding this x-axis culprit. I'm pretty sure it's the footer. You know, I think this Instagram grid doesn't need to be, I think these could be side by side. I don't think these need to be 100%. So these are, here's our container. So this is happening automatically, which means we probably just we're going to change it so it's mobile, manual. So this would be sidebar grid container half width because I think they could be like that and it would be fine. But I don't want to override all of my styles for my grid. Sidebar. There's the latest post. Here's the Instagram grid. So do I have to take out? I don't think I have to take anything out. I think I can just container. I can just do container half width. I think I can just do Instagram grid container half width. Yeah. So Instagram grid, and then we'll do container dot half width, and we're going to change this to be at include flex item 48. Oh. Instagram grid container half width. Oh, those aren't chained together. There we go. Yeah, that works. So we're able to override that with some unique, with a little more specificity. We're able to override that. Able to override the media query. All right, so the footer. Now we just have the footer. Yeah, that tightens that up a lot. That looks really good. All right, what's happening in this footer? So this is Flex. Let's go ahead and make this on mobile because everything else fits really well here. So yeah, so the Flex Flow row wrap, let's just go ahead and make this column. So this will be the footer nav, main nav. So footer nav, which these are footer nav and main nav are sibling classes, and it's on the UL specifically. So let's just do footer nav UL. We'll see if that's enough specificity. So we'll do the UL and we'll say flex flow column wrap, which I don't think matters. Doesn't matter until it matters, right? There we go. And then let's say we'll do align items center, because align items, now that it's a column, it's like opposite. If it's a row and align items, you're aligning horizontally this way. But if it's a column align items, then you're aligning this way, left and right. Flex flow align items center. There we go. Man, what is causing this off canvas? Something is causing this. Is there some padding or something somewhere that I don't know about? Why is this happening? So if I go down to, here's 410, it's not moving around if I just go down here manually, but on mobile. It's annoying. Is it this? I feel like I must have hard-coded something in here and I just didn't realize. I put in some hard-coded width. But I don't think I did. I don't think there's anything here that's breaking. Oh, is it, no, I don't think so. Is it one of these titles? Because I think I put a character width. Is this it? This might be it. I'm not sure. And this should be a media query right here. So fix this. So this seems okay. But as soon as we get in here, something isn't happy. See, I hate using overflow X hidden on the body because for one, it rarely really works. And if it does work, you're just sort of hiding up whatever problem you have that's breaking your layout. Should this be 100%? Yes. And this should probably be max width 100, 320. Okay, I'm not worried about the footer anymore. Not worried about the sidebar. I'm suspecting that this has something to do with these headings in the sidebar. That's what I think. I think there's something going on there with those headings. Yeah, because I struggled with those headings and getting that background border to line up correctly. So then I'm going to fix, what am I going to fix here first? I'm just going to fix some of my so here's the mobile nav. So I'm going to say max width 320 because I do want it to shrink if it's a smaller viewport than 320 pixels. I'm going to change that to 100%. And then I think I did overflow Y. Oops. Scroll. There we go. So now we scroll. That's good. And then let's do, we want to make sure that we have, well, If it's active, that's a click event. I don't think it should be. The display should be determined by the click event, not the viewport size. Which means that the main nav is display block by default. On click, well, you wouldn't need a hidden, you would want a media query to hide this. So we want at media, max width, 960 pixels, display, none. So this is not determined by any click event. If you're on desktop, you see it. If you're on mobile, you don't see it, period. This is displayed based on a click event. So what we're really showing on mobile is this, the button menu. So this, by default, is display none. At media, max width, 960 pixels. But on mobile, it's display block. Oops. Or what was it previously? Display. I guess display inline block. There we go. Now you see it, now you don't. Here's our top right. Yeah, I wasn't doing any special positioning here for this. So let's see if that's going to be display inline block. We'll say, I'm going to put it here. Vertical line, middle. Ooh. Let's see. What are our options? Baseline. Middle, sub. There we go, sub. That works. Gotta just play with it, man. You gotta just try the different things. Emilio, this is a great reason why it's good to, get comfy with your dev tools. It's a good idea to get comfortable with your dev tools, because how else do you know what your options are sometimes, right? The browser will tell you. And so sub has a specific value, and sometimes maybe the definition of whatever that value is, like let's do this, MDN, CSS, vertical align. So sub aligns the baseline of the element with the subscript baseline of its parent. Who knows? I don't know what that means. This is like, listen, MDN, if you ever watch this, you're amazing. You are the gold standard of documentation. I love you. Seriously, I love you. Whoops. I don't know what this means. This is stereo instructions to me. I don't know what this means. So, yes. So, Emilio, this is why it is in your best interest to get really good and comfy with the dev tools, because it will give you the more you just get in here and try different things, the easier it's going to be for you to position your stuff. So, and vertical align is a property that I think only works with inline block. Let's see here. The vertical align CSS property sets vertical alignment of an inline block or table cell box. That's interesting. I didn't know it worked on inline. I thought it only worked on inline block elements. So you can only use vertical align when you're using one of these other display inline or table cell box. I never use table cell box. I mean, I think table cell is like the default for table, right? So yeah, it only works with display inline block. So, okay, good. Those are looking very nice. Oh, we should probably tighten that up a little bit. I think ideally we would want this word ocean to change. So here's our primary logo. So I would say once we get down to 400 pixels, right here the font size is 4 rems, but if we change that to VW, or what is it? WV. Hang on, I can't remember what it is. 4V, 4W. Font size. Can you do vertical? VW is vertical, the viewport width. Yeah, right there. It still kind of breaks the layout a little bit, doesn't it? I think we're going to have to take some padding off of this header. So let's do that first, and then let's adjust how that font size happens. So let's just do 1.5 rems of padding all the way around. That's going to support our header a lot better. There we go, all the way around. And then let's, here's our primary logo, 4 rems. So we'll say at media, max width. I think we said 400 pixels is when it breaks, right? Font size. 12 VW, not Volkswagens. We're all thinking it. Viewport width. That's pretty small. Can we go a little higher on this? Hey, look at that. Gets us down to about almost 250. $14. Yeah, that works. And then let's adjust the word the. We have to adjust our span. That works. So 14. And then our span, I think we're going to have to, well, so the left would be, I think, just 0 by default. So we're going to change the span left, and then let's just nudge it backwards a little bit. So we're going to do a negative 0.5 rems. Just see if we can nudge it backwards a little bit. Whoop. There. You can see it moved off to the side just a tiny bit. I think we could do a full rem. Yeah. It makes it a little more legible. Look at that. I love it. I love it. Yeah, something is breaking our layout here. I'm not sure what. You know what I think it is? I really think it's, oh, look at that right there. And, oh, that navigation got hidden. I think it's either our titles. I don't know. I'm gonna have to figure out what's breaking our navigation or breaking our layout for mobile. I think it has something to do with these titles, but it could just be, is it just the way I'm hiding the navigation? Why would that matter if it's display none? I don't know. Why would that matter if it's display none? If it's display none, it should take it out of the flow. It shouldn't have any impact on the layout. Oh, see, I screwed up some of my other styles here too. Let's see. Oh, this is the problem with sharing styles. So, all right, well. Well, I think this is good for today. I think this is good for today. So let me ask you this, all three of you who are watching right now. Do you like seeing me try to solve these problems? Because I feel, well, so first of all, it's a normal part of development to run into things like this and be like, why is this happening? I've done this a million times. Why are you doing this to me now? It's a totally normal part of development. I feel very self-conscious though in a live stream to get stuck on things like this and not be able to immediately figure out what I did that caused a layout to break. So, as people who tune in to watch this, do you like seeing me problem solve these types of things, or would you prefer that I figure this out before we start tomorrow? You tell me, because I feel self-conscious. But if you're like, hey, this is really helpful to see you try to like nail this down and figure this out, like I want to know that. So you can let me know in the comments, you can let me know in the chat. It's a normal part of development. It just is. That stuff breaks and you're not going to know why, and you're just going to have to hunt and peck and figure out what's going on. So let's go ahead and and get this pushed up to Heroku and see how it actually looks on an iPhone. See if I can get this. See if I can get. I think I have this set up so I can actually show you what this looks like. So I definitely love seeing this part of the stream. It makes it fun and honestly helps a lot. Okay, well then I'm going to keep doing it. I'm going to keep doing it. Thank you, Emilio. I definitely appreciate having you here. I love that you show up and you're so kind and supportive. That means a lot to me. So let's go ahead and get this pushed up. It's a little bigger. Okay. Oh, this is the wrong thing. Right here. So we'll say off canvas nav refining styles for mobile. Git push origin main. And then let me see. Let me send this to my phone, and then I think I can put my phone up on the screen and we can look. Let me see here. I think I can send this. Send to your devices. iPhone. Open. All right. And then there's just so much to know. There's just so much to know. Come on. Can't know everything. Oh, can you hear me now? Oh, I bet I didn't have the microphone on. Can you hear me now, Emilio? Sorry about that. I will work on this for tomorrow because I think it would be great to actually put a mobile device up on the screen. Okay, I think this is looking pretty good. I'm definitely happy with this. We have some refinements. We'll figure out what's going on with our layout tomorrow. I think it has something to do either with this title, how I styled this title, or how I'm hiding the navigation. But why would that? Oh, wait a second. No, I mean, why would that matter? If it's display none, it takes it out of the flow. Yeah, if it's display none, it takes it out of the flow. So it shouldn't matter if I didn't style the desktop navigation. Okay. That's what we're going to work on tomorrow. So we're going to refine our mobile styles for tomorrow. We're going to put in our click events for our off-canvas navigation. We're going to put in an animation to transition the hamburger menu from the bars to an X. And then we're going to get started on the off-canvas search, which will be for desktop and mobile. So we'll get started working on that too. And then this gives me time to hunt down, because I really don't want to reinvent that wheel of writing those transitions. I already have it. I've already done it. So I'll find that before tomorrow. And then I'll see if I can get my phone working on for the streaming so we can actually pull it up, because that's the real test. That's the real test. So we have a big day tomorrow. We have a very big day tomorrow. If we could get the rest of these refinements done tomorrow, that means that next week we can continue building out the rest of the site, because the header and the footer are done. The majority, like 80% of the mobile styles are done. We just have to build out these inner pages and do the mobile styles for the inner pages. It's huge once you get a header and a footer and something like the search done, because those are the things that appear on every page. So it's like you're done building half the site once you get a home page, a header, and a footer done. It's really an awesome process, especially when you just take one big page, you define your main styles, you get the thing that appears on every page done. So, all right, that's it for today. Thank you to everybody who joined me. As usual, I love having you here. I love it when you chat with me. I love it when you hang out with me. I hope that you have a great day wherever you are. We are having a legit snowstorm in St. Paul, Minnesota. So it's kind of snowy and cold, but also I love here's what I like about fresh snow, because I'm not really a winter snow person. I love it. I love that a fresh blanket of snow covers up all the dirty, grimy parts, right? And it's a little bit romantic, right? It's easy to romanticize that first big snow. Thank you, Emilio, for being here. As always, Monique. And yeah, have a great rest of your day wherever you are. And I will see you here tomorrow. Bye.